Hi, I'm Mike Bellevue, and today we're out here with Uberti's model 1862 police revolver. Now, this was manufactured, of course, by Uberti in Italy. It was imported by Dixie Gun Works in Union City, Tennessee, and we're going to put it through its paces today. So this is Colt's 1862 police model, and it's a pretty small gun. I'm going to show you an actual 1851 Navy. By comparison, as you can see, this gun is quite small compared to a full-size Navy. So, why is that a police gun? Well, in the 19th century, and actually right into the early 20th century, the police were armed with pretty small weapons. The typical police gun in the 19th and early 20th century was a 31 caliber cap and ball or a 32 caliber cartridge gun, and that was considered sufficient for police work. And it wasn't really until, let's say, the late 20s into the 30s with you know, the Dillingers and Bonnie and Clyde and the big push of gangsters going into the Depression, that they felt that 32 was underpowered and that they should move up to 38. But there were some people that felt that way in the 19th century, and because of that, Colt and Remington both produced police model revolvers that were 36 calibers. But this gun is based on the 31 caliber pocket pistol's frame. So what they did, and this is the same thing they did with the 1860 Army, where they took a 51 Navy frame and they cut it and blew the cylinder out a little bit in the front to make it a 44. Well, in this case, they took a 31 caliber pocket pistol, cut the frame, blew the cylinder out a little bit to make it a 36 caliber 5-shot. So this is somewhat more powerful than the 31 caliber pocket pistol, but because of powder capacity, it is not as powerful as the full-size Navy. And we'll just give you a little side-by-side comparison of the cylinders. So we're about 1/10 of an inch smaller, actually a little more than that, close to a quarter, between 1/8 and a quarter of an inch smaller on the police model than we are on the full-sized Navy model. But that's what it is. And it's really a fun gun to shoot and beautifully balanced. So let's get it out and put it on the range. Okay, so loading the 1862 police is pretty conventional. I'm using 3X GoX black powder. I'm using .375 inch balls, and I'm using my homemade wads. So I'm actually going to load a 20 grain powder charge because this gun seems to accommodate that pretty well. So get it on half cock. Now pour in the powder charge. Okay, the next step is going to be to take a lubed wad and seat it on top. I generally hate doing this around a tripod. I generally poke it in with the back of a pen. And then we're going to take a lead ball, rotate it under. This has enough of a loading lever that I can get it seated. Okay, so we're all set. Now I'm going to load all 5 of these. I know that's contrary to my usual rule. With 6-shot revolvers, I do load 5 instead of 6. But with 5 shots, I load 5 and I depend on the safety pin. So we're just going to load up all of the chambers and then we'll cap it. All right, now we're going to cap it. I've got a shiny new Ted Cash capper. As you might remember in my last cap and ball video, I told you that the springs were wearing out of my old capper. I was going to have to retire it. So here it is, brand new one, first time I'm using it. You saw me tune this gun up before. What you didn't see is that I've put Tresso nipples on it. Those are made of Amco, a bronze alloy. They're far superior to the Italian stock nipples, and that's what I'm going to run. So I'm going to see, because these little guns are often problematic when it comes to nipple fit. So, hold on. Okay, the capper's not fitting in the window on this, so I'm going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. I've got a neighbor in the next bay who's having a great time. He apparently has a 10,000 round magazine on his Glock, so we're getting a lot of firing over here. Oh, we got a periodic lull. Love it. Because believe me, I figured that guy had an actual hose with ammo on it instead of a magazine. Alright, so I'm just going to put them on the old-fashioned way by thumb. Put each one on. I press it with a dowel to make sure it's on tight, and then we'll be ready to shoot. So all the chambers are capped. Now, an issue with these, I'm putting this right on the safety notch, right, to make it safe. An issue with these little guns, like the pocket model or these police models, is that replacement nipples, Uberti replacement nipples like these, don't always fit them all. I mean, they screw in, but sometimes they're just a little bit too long. Now, I've had bad luck on the older guns and pretty good luck on the newer guns. So since it's a newer gun, I'm hoping that we're going to be good, but we'll see. If we start jamming up, if the hammer won't cock after it drops, that's because the nipples are just a bit too long. So let's go see how it does. All right, so I'm going to be about 7 yards away from that paper target because obviously this gun was not made for shooting across the canyon. And I haven't shot it before, so I'm not sure where it's printing. So I'm going to try not to take down any low-flying aircraft that's probably going to shoot pretty high. But let's see how it does on its maiden voyage. Okay, I lost a cap on one of them, so I'm going to have to go shoot that out, but otherwise, it did pretty good. I'm going to recap this, shoot it, then we'll go look at that target. I'm pretty pleased. Okay, my neighbor next door, next bay, he just took out an entire drug cartel on his own. So while he's reloading, which ought to take about 30 minutes, let me put the last round in this target. Ring, not bad. All right, so this baby is doing pretty good. Let's go to the target. We'll see where it's hitting. I'll tell you where I was aiming. All right, so I had the 1862 police. I was aiming right there, and here's where I hit. So that's really not too bad, right? About 6 inches up at 7 yards. I am really pleased with how well the 1862 police did with round balls. So now I'm going to try it with conical bullets, and these are errors gone. And I'm not going to use paper cartridges because the ones I have would just be too long for this because they're sized for a full-size Navy. So we're just going to load the conicals and loose powder. So I'm going to use 15 grains of powder this time as opposed to the 20 we've been using. So, put it on half cock. And let's put some in. Now, this is an Uberti, so the plunger is made to take conicals, so we should be okay. But let's see. Let's see if they go in. Yep, I think we're all right. They fit in the window. And we can get them below the level, so we should be fine. So I'm going to load these up, and we'll see how they shoot. I didn't pre-lubricate these bullets, so I'm putting black powder lube. This is a beeswax and tallow mixture over the top of the chamber. Now, that's not to prevent chain fires. That's to put some lube down the barrel when it's being shot to keep the fouling soft. Otherwise, accuracy would go downhill in no time. So now I'm going to cap it up, and then let's put it back on paper, see what it does. Okay, we've got the 1862 loaded up with conicals. Got a paper target, 7 yards is the distance. Let's see how it does compared to round balls. All right, and the answer is, it did pretty good. Now, the report was noticeably louder, even though there was 5 grains less powder, and there was more recoil. Now, more recoil in this case is like, I don't know, 22 long rifle versus 22 Magnum maybe. I mean, it's not a tremendous difference, but you can feel it in your hand. But let's go take a look at it. Okay, so here's the conicals. They shot very, very accurately. Once again, I was aiming right here, so we shot a little bit higher with the conicals than we did with the round balls. At 7 yards, it's not going to make much of a difference. So if you wonder why, it's because the heavier bullet makes the barrel lift more during recoil, makes it print higher. A lot of people think a heavier bullet is always going to print lower. It's not. Not at this range. Now, you get out 100 yards, and gravity makes a difference, but over here the amount of recoil pushing on that barrel is what's going to raise it up. That's why a 250 grain Colt bullet will shoot higher than a 200 grain Colt bullet, even though a lot of people don't believe that's true. So pretty good target with the conicals. All right, just to recap the results of the paper, this is a 36 round ball, and that's a 36 conical. I scored a 48 with the round ball and a 46 with the conicals. But to be honest with you, that's because the conicals printed a little bit higher. If I did it again, I would aim an inch lower. I'd probably shoot a 50 with the conicals. So either way you go, this is an accurate little shooter, and it's doing a great job. Well, I'm pretty happy with the way that the 1862 police performed on paper. So now let's try putting it on steel. The club here has a minimum distance of 11 yards for shooting steel, so that's what we'll be shooting at. And we'll be battling the wind. I've got to say, it's been kicking up quite a bit lately. So we'll see if it has any impact or not. So let's go make some steel ring. Alright, I hope you enjoyed our look at the 1862 police revolver. If you liked it, well, give it a big thumbs up, right? We'd appreciate that. And if you're not a subscriber, we hope you'll subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you. And look for the next video. Bye.